Sup.
Hello, darling.
Sup. So yeah, like I was saying before, I just don't want it to be. I don't want to be portrayed in like a negative light. You know?
Yeah.
As in, I want to give background. I want to kind of walk everyone through everything, but not. I want to be as open as possible without, because like I said, it can either go either way. It can destroy credibility, or it can only make those that like me, like me even more.
No matter what, you're gonna have critics.
Right. No, 100%. So I guess talk about everything. Leave nothing out. It's not just a mental illness. It's what it does. It's the effects of what it does. I don't think like that's what I'm trying to convey. Is what happens when you have it, not what it's like having it. Because I can explain what it's like having it in 2 minutes.
Are you sure you want to go that route?
I think so.
Okay. I'll stand behind you regardless of what you decide.
I don't know. Not really sure how we're supposed to do this. I can't make a documentary about me with me, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want to convey this message in a way where people will understand, touching on like the highs, the lows, the love aspect, the drug aspect, the money aspect, the impulse aspect.
Well, for people that don't know who you are, why don't we start with who you are?
Alright.
Quick rundown. Right now. Boom, boom, boom. Who are you? What's your name? Where are you from?
Who am I? Where am I from? Where I'm at? Alright. Oh, you wanted me to answer that?
Yep.
My name's Dasilva. A 22-year-old e-commerce entrepreneur. I currently reside in Edgewater, New Jersey, or wherever I feel most comfortable. And it's really important that I say wherever I feel most comfortable, because I don't always feel comfortable at home. I feel comfortable elsewhere, other places at certain times, but home is just like somewhere where I feel constant but never comfortable. That's why every single place that I've had, I've lived in for about a year. I like to move around. Yeah. So this is going to be more so an inside look of what it's like to deal with manic bipolar disorder. What it's like as an entrepreneur to deal with manic bipolar disorder. Not everybody understands, not everybody can comprehend, especially when you mix the highs and the lows with somebody who's made a decent living for himself, and never too sure about intentions. And I think this is more so where the series will end up going, and what we tie this back into. This will be a 3-part series. You'll go through a lot of the lows. We're going to go through a lot of lows together. I'm going to show you how I rebuilt, show you where I'm at, let you know how things are going. And at the end of the day, this is going to be something different. I know a lot of people love me for training that I put out, courses, when I'm on stages. You guys love me for that, but I want to show you deeper what it's like. It's a battle, a constant battle, always. Always, always, always. And it's a battle with me, with myself, not anyone else. I am my worst enemy. And this series will let you in on secrets that I've never wanted to put out to the public, but I think to clear out the air, it would be good. So I guess that's the best way to open it up. So we are here in Harrison, New Jersey. This is where I spent majority of my time growing up. I'd say like 80% of my time. My grandma lived here, and I pretty much grew up with my grandmother. She kind of like always took care of me. I never went to the high school here. I spent most of my time at her house though, so I'm going to show you where she lived, kind of show you the ins and outs so you understand the area. I never really went out here, but I spent most of my time here, most of my time around here. It'll be different. I used to play at that park all the time, and there's a cage right next to it, and I can always see the people playing soccer at the cage from my grandma's house. It was really fun going there, you know. I remember going there all the time. I used to beg my grandma to go there, and she'd just stay there for like 30 to 45 minutes just to like let me play in the park. They have yet to update that park in the longest time. Everything is there since I was like 6 years old. Nothing has changed, not even the swings. It's kind of gross, honestly. Kind of concerning, I guess. So this is the cage where everybody plays soccer around here. And there are some really impressive soccer players around here. Actually, it's locked for some reason. Don't know why. So that's my grandma's house where it says 107. Well, it was my grandma's house where it says 107. So the middle one right here, she rented out the second floor. My great-grandfather lived in 107 at the bottom. And my grandfather, they lived at the very, very top. So this was the house before they sold it, and then they got scammed by my ex-uncle. So these are the cages that I was talking about. Typically the basketball cages were never filled. There was always the soccer cages. This was the park that I played at all the time. Still never updated, ever. Yeah, literally grandmother's house is right over there. I literally have yet to ever know what this thing is. This was like a stadium at one point, a rec center. I don't really know. Heard that?
Yeah.
Would someone say, hey? Alright, you know what I want to do? I want to get pizza.
It's too much for this, in my opinion. To literally put her in this video, it's too much in my opinion. If she was there and willing to sit down and like actually be like, yeah, he did this, this, and that, and like blah blah blah, then it would be different. But to me, it just seems a little crazy to put a girl in a video that has no idea that this is even happening. No
You're
idea
right,
this is
but
coming out.
it goes into my story. That's like what I'm trying to.
You could
get
still
you.
tell the story though without saying her name.
I you know you're right. Without saying her name, I'm talking about like a video, like videos that I have. Her face is in it. Like it's like because the thing is, it portrays the fact that like the love that we had, right? And where I'm at now. So the B-roll would be like us like having a great time together, and then now like you know what I'm saying?
I do. But
So I want to convey that point that it's not. It's one thing for me to say it's hard to love, right? But it's another thing when I can convey me showing love and me not being able to sustain like that video. Because I have one in particular that I'm thinking about.
Put it in. I know you're.
Let's just see how it goes. Let's see how it looks. The case is that we didn't work because I refused to get help, and I lied to her about getting help, and then that's when all the drugs came into play. Like when I was fucking just taking Xanax every night.
I think
and
it would
all
make
that.
you sound a lot more professional and a better person if you say, I don't want to mention her name for her own sake, I don't want to involve her in this. I think that's the way you should do it. If I were to watch a video and I saw a guy bring up his ex-girlfriend and put her in a video and stuff like that, I would be like, he's crazy. But if you talk about it and say, for her own respect, I'm not going to show her face or get her involved in this and stuff like that, I think people will respect that a lot more. Like that, even though you're not making her look bad,
That's
I
the
know
whole
you're not
thing.
making her look.
I can't make her look bad because she didn't do anything wrong.
It's still just. I don't. You can do it. It's
I
your
mean,
call.
I know. The only thing is, it's such a big aspect. Like all
I
of
know,
this
but
falls
it's not
back
like you can't.
onto
It's not
this.
like you can't not talk about her.
I know, but it all falls. It started and ended with everything I did. What I did that I built was because of. I didn't build for the fuck of it.
Yeah, but I
built because of
wouldn't say her name. You do it. If you, dude, this is your video. You want to do it. That's your fault. This is my opinion.
I know. I'm gonna have to get another one. I'm not saying yours is wrong. I'm just saying I want to see what the consensus is.
It'll make you look a lot better as a person if you say that, like literally word for word, for her own sake and whatever. I'm not gonna show her face or mention her name. Those of you who know me and those of you who know her know who I'm talking about, and that's it. Like, you're putting this out to like the whole world, like, about this girl.
It'll do well. Oh, I think you're right. Good. Alright. This is gonna be probably the hardest one to shoot. Alright. Let's talk about love. This is a taboo topic. Nobody talks about this. Nobody wants to talk about this. Typically, you're not supposed to mix love and business, especially since this is on a channel that's predominantly about business, and everybody who watches me knows me about business. But that's besides the fact. I dated this girl for 4 years. Okay, I absolutely loved this girl. Fantastic. She's a great person. And our everything aligned, meaning what we in reason once everything aligned in reason, meaning once I started achieving certain levels, things became unaligned. I got a taste of a different life, and she didn't like that. So the reason why love for me is difficult, having manic bipolar disorders, because, for example, on a Monday I would love her, on a Tuesday I would say I never want to talk to you again, get out of my life. Wednesday I'd feel really bad, but still wouldn't want to see her. Thursday I'd apologize profusely and hope she was still around. And Friday I'd just repeat the cycle. It would happen over and over and over and over again. It was like a broken record, and she stayed through. Now, given, let's think about this, okay? This is a lot of people can only take so much of that, right? Until they're just like, okay, I'm leaving. So she had to deal with that for years. So I want to give an example. I don't want to veer off topic too much as to what manic bipolar disorder and because I have severe depression as well, what it does to somebody. Okay, so for me, like I said before, I love somebody. I'd love her on like a Monday and then hate her throughout the rest of the week, all that. However, I just wouldn't want to spend time with her. I wouldn't want to go out there and do things with her. I wouldn't feel not so much not comfortable. I just didn't want to do anything. I wasn't ever in the mood to spend time with her, and she'd want to spend time all the time, and I just no, I'm not. I don't want to see you. I don't want to do anything. You come on my terms, right? There's no compromising. It's what I want. And for her, it's really hard. For anybody, that's really hard, no matter what. So one example, like I just said, is that I'd go out there and refuse to ever spend time with her. It was because I was uncomfortable. I still don't know the reason, and I think that's the biggest problem that I have today. Is I don't know. Obviously, the manic bipolar didn't help, and the depression, which keeps you wanting to do absolutely nothing ever, didn't help. But I can only imagine that was the underlying subconscious reason why I never wanted to spend time with her, why I was so mean, why I would just one day be with her, next day just not be with her. And that's probably one of the biggest examples that I know of. Is just the fact that I never would want to spend time with her, and it wasn't because I didn't want to, it was because I couldn't force myself to. I would just be, I would bring her down. Now I don't want anybody to confuse like this is an apology video. I'm sorry for what I did, but I'm not focusing on the apology because what happened. I'm trying to give a perspective of how it feels to be in my shoes now, and if anybody else can relate, that's great. But to tie this all in is that I talked about my ex for a while. Now I've realized that the reason why we didn't work is because of the fact that she asked me to get help, get medicated. I decided to completely lie to her and self-medicate myself. And turns out that doesn't work. So again, not an apology. I'm sorry for what I did, not an apology video, but that's in the past.
Can you explain better the self-medicating part?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
First things first, I'm not a doctor, okay? And I want nobody to take anything I say here for face value. Well, do what I did. That's what I mean by face value. So what you listen to me here today do, I highly suggest don't do it. Go get a doctor's help. But for self-medicating, dark web, okay? I'm talking going on like Silk Road and Silk Road 2.0 and other dark web locations on tour and street pharmacists, if you will. And I was just buying. I was getting like Adderall. Adderall's a really big amphetamine, and I like the highs. Okay, Xanax to come down. You had Oxy in there mixed as well. I had a pretty decent Oxy run. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that I had a weirdly big thing with Oxy, and I would just take that to feel really good, and then when the Adderall started to wear off, we'd take a Xanax to go to sleep, and we'd repeat the process again, over and over and over again. And I didn't have a prescription for any of that. I just decided, let's just take it. Let's find it. Whoever has it. I didn't know if these were just random pills that I was having delivered. They definitely were not legal. Weren't real. They did their job. Just weren't real. So yeah, just to tie that all in, she wanted me to get help, and I decided to self-medicate. And that, like I said, that didn't help whatsoever. If anything, it made it worse. And this is kind of what I realized, is that once I started self-medicating, everything just became, when I would come down, I would get more aggressive, more angry. I would be in a worse mind state waking up than the previous day, and it would just get worse, like progressively worse. And guess who I would take my anger out on? I'd take it out on her. So given we broke up, I took time off, just from love in general, and now I'm at a point where I realize that everything's a little harder. because I don't know somebody's true intentions. I'm very uncomfortable because I'm more so afraid that I might, take my problems out on somebody else. So I tend to stay away. I am talking to somebody now, and she definitely knows I'm manic bipolar. I tone it back a lot. I've toned it back a lot. I'm very tolerable and tolerant. It's just I never know somebody's true intentions, and yeah, that's kind of where I want to end it off. It's hard being manic, putting somebody through the ringer like that, and then letting somebody go who was there through it all, was there when I had nothing, there when I had everything, and I treated them like absolute garbage because of me, because of my own problem, because I personally couldn't help it. Scratch that, I could help it, I decided not to get help. That was my problem, that was never hers. So like I said before, this is an apology. This is me letting you know pretty much what it's like. It's not easy. It's probably the hardest aspect.
Now I think we should touch on the impulse buying and spending.
Okay. Well, where do we start? I'm an impulse buyer on when the depression kicks in.
And I think this also plays a role regardless of if you had the money or not. You would still have that impulse to do these things. The money just made it, having the money
It amplified it.
Amplified it by a million.
It really amplified it.
Because instead of you just going out to buy that one thing that could have been $50, you're buying that one thing that's $50,000.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you're right. I mean,
So I just don't want people listening to this thinking that, oh, he just impulse buys because he can. No, this would still go on.
Oh, believe me,
if the money was there or not.
If I can put everything in a big pile and give it back for everything I impulse purchased, I'd probably sit on $2 million cash, just straight up cash, right? Just by impulsively purchasing. Just alone the fact that, let me give you the manic state so you understand. I'm gonna give you the highs, I'm gonna give you the lows. The highs I buy smart things. So the highs, you'll see me go and buy equipment for business because I need to expand, or I go out there and donate, donate to I love dogs, so donate to shelters. That's the highs. But here's the thing: the highs are controllable, meaning I'm not spending as much as a high than I am at a low. And the high spending when I'm euphoric, it's a lot better. My money is put to good use, whether it's charities or actually reinvesting. That is good, but that's kind of like that's I guess normal in a way. That's not like the worst.
Yeah,
because
you need to explain that.
Okay,
But
so let's talk about the lows.
Yeah.
The lows. This is where things get fun. What don't I buy? All right. Should I just talk about everything? Should I just name like a couple of things off the back of my head that were at a low?
I think a big factor too that maybe that is coming to me that you might not realize, that you'll go out and spend, let's say $5,000 at a club, and you'll be super happy while you're there for the first hour, and then the next hour comes and you want to leave, you're fucking pissed, you're mad at everybody. That's where the low side of these impulse buying comes in. Because some people might say, oh, what's so wrong about going out and spending money at a club? Because that's a normal thing. People do that.
Right.
It's not the right thing to do, but people do. But what was such an issue was that you would go and spend that $5,000. Most people would go and spend that $5,000 and have a fucking blast.
And the frequency.
And then you would go out, do that, an hour later you're having a horrible time, you're mad, and you would think that's the last time you would do that because of how mad you get. Same thing happens next week.
I do. Actually, you're right, dude. I do get really mad if I go
You're
out.
super happy when you go out, you're having a great time, and then all of a sudden the next minute something's pissing you off.
Yeah, it's like a flip of a switch, huh?
And I think we both, I just realized that it just made sense to me now, because I'm thinking like, it's not so bad that you're going out and buying these impulse things, But what is so bad is that it can make you so happy for 1 second, and the next second it's like, oh, whatever. And that comes with a lot of things. People think they want something, they buy it, and then they're used to it, and they're not as happy. But for it to happen like in the flip of a switch that's where I think the bipolar comes in.
I think the very first impulsive thing I ever did, my biggest impulsive purchase was the i8. So I bought a BMW i8 and I bought it. My cars I buy cash. Contrary to popular belief, everyone thinks they're rented or whatever. Think whatever you want. But the first car that I bought, and I'll also give you another manic, not really manic, I guess maybe naive. Nah, it's definitely, if somebody normal would never do this. I'm gonna talk about the insurance for the i8. So I bought the i8, and one day to the next, I went to BMW dealerships, right? I went to 3 of them. And I walked in and I said, hey, I want to lease this. I want to lease this. I want to lease this. And every single one guy literally looked at me, laughed, and said, are you sure? And I literally just, I left. There was one. I won't say where it is. It's in Jersey. But I pretty much got laughed at, if you will. Third time around, when people were like, yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Basically, it won't get approved, yada, yada, whatever it is. I said, okay. I literally said, you know what, screw this. I came home, went on eBay, motors.ebay.com, and then I looked for a BMW i8, found somebody who was selling it in Idaho, and for a $140,000 wire, the very next day I sent him that money, and I had a BMW i8 put in a container truck, like a heated container truck, and delivered right to New Jersey. And that was that was the beginning of a long trail of just disgusting amounts of impulsive purchases, followed by I wasn't really impulsive. I'm not gonna say the Lamborghini was impulsive, because I've always wanted that. And right, wouldn't you? Right, I slept on that for a long time. So would you say that was impulsive? No, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, not even that aspect. It's just that wasn't really impulsive. The i8 was impulsive. Yeah. Because I did that because.
I remember you got it without telling any of us.
Yeah.
And then we were all like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So that was impulsive. Let's see. Recently, I spent like $30,000 in jewelry. Not really that recently.
That was impulsive.
So impulsive.
That was very.
Literally, he showed me the watch. I was like, I'll take it. And that was during a super depressive state. I think that was the worst time that I've ever felt. So yeah, that was incredibly impulsive. That was me letting my emotions get the best of me. And when you're at a super low state and buying that, right, buying these pieces of jewelry, it was an instant gratification, and it felt good for 48 hours. And then I was like, crap, did I really just do that? And that's the manic side. Now that also bears the question, how is that a problem going out and buying jewelry? It sounds like a normal thing. Because the thought process behind it, I went to a jeweler not to buy jewelry, okay? I went to a jeweler because a friend is a jeweler, and I was in his office, and we were talking about something, and rather than me talking about something, I saw a watch out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, whoa, how much is that? And he told me the price. I was like, perfect, I'll buy it right now. There was no hesitation. There was no hesitation. So
I remember looking at you and going,
oh yeah, that's right, you were there.
So I was like,
yeah, holy crap, you were there.
And you were just like, yeah, I want it.
Yeah, and that was a pretty bad decision. I mean, it's a nice piece, but not really worth it.
If you were in the right
mindset,
you wouldn't have bought that.
No, I wouldn't have
That's
bought that.
The example you're trying to.
I think
the
if I
point you're trying to prove here.
I think if I was more stable, I wouldn't have bought half the stuff I bought. The reason why I even got my very first place was completely impulsive. You remember the first place too. It was the smallest thing. Just because it looked at the city, I saw one place, like $4,000 a month for 700 square feet. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I signed the lease that same day. And that was so impulsive because I hated it. And it made me feel uncomfortable. Right now I love the place where I'm at. And I don't mind paying the price for it either. This place to me wasn't impulsive, okay? This to me was more so level-headed, bigger space, kind of the same price. So, yeah, this one made a lot more sense. So for me, moving in here was good, but other places that I went to. Speaking about moving, out of nowhere, this is a great example. Oh man. This goes back to the girl I talked about that I dated for 4 years. I got in a bad depressive state, very low state. One day to the next, I moved to Tampa, Florida. And I'm not exaggerating when I say one day to the next. I put on a backpack, got a plane ticket, moved to Florida. In one day to the next. And her and I were together. And it was my way to leave. I was trying to escape, I was trying to run away. And I left. I left everything here. Absolutely everything. And I just left. Now, if that doesn't throw up a red flag, I don't know what does. I don't know who else just leaves anybody where they were without telling anyone, hey, by the way, I'm moving here. See ya, right? So that was a low as well. Not that I'm definitely not proud about, because I wish I redid that. And I was there for 3 months. Now I love the guy I was there with. He was one of my best friends. It's just that it wasn't me. That was constant partying every night, every single night. So that was difficult. Sorry if this is boring to some people. I know this is a longer video. I know this is something that I've never done on the channel, but I thoroughly do apologize to those of you that think this content is boring. This content is completely, out of the realm of what I should be talking about, but I do believe that there are people out there that need something like this, that need to know that they're not alone, need to understand that things do get better. At the end of the day, every single one of us has a certain problem. Maybe your problems are worse than mine, maybe my problems are worse than yours. At the end of the day, we all have something we all go through. And I need you to understand right now that no matter what level of success you attain, no matter where you go in life, what you achieve in life, you will always have something that sticks with you negatively in your own mind or yourself. Some people have terrible body complex images, right, of themselves. Some people are manic bipolar. Some people are, just bipolar. Some people are super depressed. And it's not so much about, what's wrong with you. It's more so, are you proactive in fixing the problem, right? So that was my problem for the longest time. If you noticed, for those of you that have been following me for a long time, is that I completely went off the grid for a long period of time. That was because I found a problem and I tried to fix it. And problems don't get fixed overnight. I don't want anybody to think that I'm 100% perfect, I'm a saint. It doesn't happen, okay? And you got to be proactive to fix the problems that you find, because again, if you can either let it eat away at you, or you can fix it for the betterment of yourself and the people around you.
Alright, so where do we go next with this?
I think I have to get to the root. I think I want you on camera. I want Tony on camera. My parents, and I want a different perspective of me. I think that's gonna paint a picture and more clarity, and so people understand it's not, when they're watching this, it's not like my side. Only one side would be what other people think. So it's not me.
That's smart.
So I think that's needed.
But when it's your family, it's hard to just walk away from that, because you want to see them get better. But they almost, I don't know, sometimes I almost feel like he doesn't think that he's worth loving. And that breaks my heart. And I know, and people like him, they feel like they're alone. Because I can see it written all over him. And I keep trying to remind him that he's not alone.